Okay, now I think you can hear me because I have a headset, which is not ideal for this, but yeah, I think it would appear so because I'm using my webcam on my laptop here, and it would appear that you got to have a microphone, which is weird because it's the same thing that I use for my um, it's the same thing I use when I do my videos that I upload after the fact, and so and I always get volume on there. I got a um like a speaker thing on the top of my my laptop here. So I'm not sure. I guess it's different for live videos. You got to have either a mic in front of you, like I see a lot of people have, or in my case, this is what I'm going to have to use for the time being because I don't have that, and I didn't realize that was a thing. So shame on me, I guess. But that being said, we're finally up and running. I'm pretty sure you can hear me now because I tested this before and I listened to my video and I could actually hear my voice where the other ones I couldn't. So I know most people probably have given up on this live stream at this point, which is fine. It's a lot of technical difficulties and just user error, basically not realizing that I got to have a microphone to do live streaming on YouTube. It's not enough just to have my laptop speaker. Even though I got a built-in webcam camera. So you live and learn something new each day. But anyway, with that being said, let's see if we'll give it a couple minutes to see if anybody joins us here. Otherwise, I'll just go ahead and ask the questions that I was going to ask in my live Q&A here, and people can respond after the fact. As this live video will be up on my channel for you to view if you weren't able to catch it live, but wearing the old my one of my favorite horror shirts, the Thing here. So one of my favorite movies for sure. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, I know I was supposed to do this at 7, and then it got moved to 8 because something came up, and then I couldn't do it at 8 because I had technical difficulties, and then I set to do it at 8:30, and I was up for a few minutes, and then one of the live viewers told me that they couldn't hear me, so then I had to go and play around with my computer, and ultimately it just comes down to needing to have a microphone, clearly. So um, with that being said, we are live now. I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes and see if anybody joins us. But I will throw out the first question for anybody that views this live video. What's the first horror movie that you remember watching that got you into horror, to following horror, to enjoy horror? I can tell you what it was for me. It was the original Psycho from 1960. It was on TV. I was probably about 7 or 8, and my whole family sat down and watched it. Black and white movie, and yeah, I remember being kind of scared by it, especially the guy that falls down this that's walking up the stairs, and then he ends up falling down the stairs. Of course, if you're familiar with Psycho, so um, that's the first movie that caught my attention. It really got me interested in researching this thing called horror, this genre of horror movies. So, but I'd be curious to know what everybody else's. What's the first horror movie that you remember watching that got you into horror movies and checking them out and everything? So that's my first question for this horror Q&A for my inaugural eventual video that came up, live video. Um, my second question that I have, well, I'll give it a couple of minutes yet. So, um, but yeah, first horror movie that you remember watching, whether you were like 4, 5, 15, 25, whatever your age was, that really got you into horror. Like I said, for me, for anybody joining, it's 1960, the original Psycho, which was on TV. They actually, I remember where I lived, they had like an Alfred Hitchcock week, they called it, and I remember they had Vertigo, they had Rear Window, The Birds, Psycho, and North by Northwest. It was Monday through Friday, Alfred Hitchcock week. So all five of those movies, and but Psycho's the one that stood out. Obviously, of those movies, it's well, The Birds is kind of a horror movie too, I guess, but Psycho was the first one that I remember watching. So comment down below either in the live chat or after the fact in the comments what your initial horror movie was, and then My second horror question is, what horror movies, if any, are you looking forward to that are coming out in 2024? Um, I don't really know. I'm trying to think. Well, Maxine for sure, and probably Terrifier 3 for me, which I believe are both coming out this year yet. Um, I don't know. I know the first Omen's coming out, which I'll probably see. I don't know how high my expectations are for it, but and then also what's the other one? Saw 11. I'm a little nervous about that one because Saw X was so good, and I don't know how it can get any better than what it was. So we'll see, but I'm sure I'll obviously check that one out at the theater as well. So, but I'd say for me, it's got to be Maxine, the third of the triple leg there of Ty West movies with Pearl and X and now Maxine and then Terrifier 3 because I've become a big fan of the Terrifier series, especially the second one. So yeah, those are kind of the two questions that I was going to toss around in this Q&A. And of course, I'll do other live videos, and they won't have this much. Now that I know what my issue was with the sound, they won't have this many technical issues or problems. So I do apologize for that to anybody that was looking to tune in at 7, 8, 8:30, 8:40, where I had to go off and then try to fix my volume. But now I know, and I don't know. At some point, maybe if I get more 500,000 subscribers, I'll have to invest in one of those nice microphones that sit in front of your computer. But for now, I'm probably going to have to use this, which is actually for my work, my day job, um, for phone calls and things like that. But hey, it works here. We're going to go ahead and use it for these live stream videos. At least for the first few months here until I can invest in a microphone, a true microphone for my desk here. So yeah, and with all that being said, I guess I'm going to wrap this up early because I don't have any live viewers right now, and I basically got out the two questions that I wanted to ask, giving my answers for them. So again, I'm an amateur. What can I say when it comes to live videos? I know this was disappointing, and but the good news is it's only going to get better from here for future videos. So um, don't give up on me yet. So, um, with that being said, I'm going to continue by going and watching the third movie in my current series here, I think, which is, of course, the Omen franchise. Get that review up on my channel in a couple days here. But yeah, I wanted to test this out and do a live video stream and get people involved. And it was a bit of a disaster, but it'll get better. So, with all that being said, oh, I got one. Somebody says hi. So maybe I'll stay on since I got one person on the live feed here. But yeah, I mean I didn't expect to have a lot. I have 300 subscribers. So normally the people that have live videos and get 60, 70, 80 people, they end up they have like 15,000 subscribers. My first time doing a live stream, I ended it after 5 minutes. Yeah, I did that a few times already. Mellow Mutant. I started and I stopped, and I had to fix my volume or my audio, I should say, because I didn't realize. Um, yeah, This has been awkward too. Me trying to figure it out. It's been more than awkward, and I'm wondering whether or not I should actually post this on my channel. I'm just using. This is just a work. Like headset that I use for phone calls for work. I don't actually have a microphone, like a desk microphone yet. I need to invest in that. Oh, I mean for software. Um, that's a good question. I'm not really sure. To be honest with you, I just use the camera feature in my laptop. That's what I do with all of my videos um that I download or upload, I should say, to my channel. And I assume that it would be the same for live videos, but clearly it isn't. I realize that I have to have a microphone plugged in of some kind. So screen record. Oh, yeah, I don't actually have a screen recorder right now. I did sign up for a free one for a while. That's probably a good idea, though, if we can do streaming too with that, because I do want to do some videos with tier lists and things like that. So Thanks for the suggestion. OBS, I might have to look into that and see if I can invest in that. Cause yeah, this is pretty awkward for my first live video. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, thanks for the advice. I'll definitely look into that. I'm an old school guy. This is all new for me. I mean, the fact that I could even get the camera to work and post my first video a few years ago is a miracle in itself. If I'm being honest about it. So I'm still kind of learning as we go here, with all the technology and everything. But I definitely wanted to be able to talk live time with my subscribers and other viewers out there that might have found my channel. So that's what it's all about. Yeah, maybe we can. I would like to collaborate with some other YouTubers for sure at some point. So, yeah, definitely hit me up, and hopefully we'll both know what we're doing a little bit better than the first time. But yeah, that's one of my goals for 2024 is to collaborate and do a live stream with somebody else, and talk about movies, horror, whatever it is. The Thing. That's a good one. I'm assuming you're talking about John Carpenter's 1982, The Thing. Because I know there's a few different things out there. There's the remake from 2011, and then okay, yeah, yeah, that's definitely top three for me all time. It's definitely my favorite science fiction horror movie, but it's really one of my top three favorite horror movies, period, of all time. It's just the practical effects, the characters, just everything about it. I love. Yeah, you're right. The 2011 one is a prequel, not a remake of the original. I actually have it. I haven't watched that one yet, nor have I watched the Howard Hawks one from the 50s. So, but I love John Carpenter's The Thing. It's definitely the best movie he did, in my opinion, and that's saying something because he's done a few. But yeah, for sure. What was the first horror movie you ever remember watching, Mellow Mutant? That was the first question I had on my live stream. Like what horror movie's the first one that really got you interested in horror? For me it was Psycho, the original from 1960. I remember watching it when I was 7 or 8, I want to say. So I'd be curious to hear what the first horror movie was that you remember seeing. Yes, it is a masterpiece. I look forward to seeing your review. I always love seeing. I always love watching other horror YouTubers and their reviews for similar movies, or whatever. Even if they don't like them as much as I do, or they love movies that I don't, I just think it's really interesting, I should say. So yeah, it's definitely a masterpiece, though. That's for sure. But yeah, my the two questions. First tour I remember seeing was Big Trouble in Little China when I was 4. Oh, okay, yep, another good John Carpenter movie. Yeah, not horror. I was gonna say, I don't know if that's horror, but it's the closest. It is a John Carpenter movie, so we can call it horror. That's fine. So, but I haven't seen that movie in years. I'd like to upgrade it too and get it to Scream Factor. I know they got a really nice release of it, but I'd have to check that one out. But yeah, I love John Carpenter. He's definitely one of my favorite directors of all time. And then the other question that I asked before was, what horror movies, if any, for 2024 that are coming out are you looking forward to seeing? Are you jazzed for? For me, it was Maxine and Terrifier 3. I'll definitely be seeing those at the theater, as well as probably Saw 11 and um, the first Omen. But I'm not as looking forward to those because I'm not sure how good they're going to be. But yeah, Maxine definitely and Terrifier 3 are probably the two Terrifier or the two horror movies that I'm most excited for seeing in 2024 that are coming out. So, oh, by the way, Mellow Mutant, speaking of The Thing, I happen to be wearing my shirt for The Thing, which I got at a horror convention a few months ago. So, one of my favorite shirts. Definitely my favorite horror shirt. So, but yeah, we'll see if anybody else jumps on here. But otherwise, I'm probably going to wrap this up in 5 minutes. I think I've embarrassed myself enough for one night. Imaginary, surprisingly not hopeful. It's another generic horror. Yeah, Imaginary. I heard about that one. That'll be interesting. I think I have to watch the trailer for that. Dope shirt. Thank you very much. Yeah, I got it in October when I went to horror convention in Lexington, Kentucky, actually, and I picked it up. So, yeah. But yeah, Imaginary will be an interesting one. It does look a little bit. It does look a little bit by the numbers, but we'll see. Yeah, Nosferatu. I forgot about that one. Because I love the original Nosferatu, like the silent one. Scary as hell to me. But yeah, that's another one I'll have definitely be seeing at the theater. And the first Omen. Yeah, I'm going through the Omen franchise right now, and my January horror series. I'm through the first two, and I'm going to be watching the final conflict probably after I end this embarrassing live stream video. No, it's awkward, whatever. I don't care. I'm in my 40s. I'm past the awkward phases, so I'm just glad to be breathing. Yeah. um. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. We'll get it right. It's only going to get better from here. Like I told my viewers before, it's the first one's always the roughest, especially when you're like me and you're not up with technology. But now I know what I have to do, and it's going to be good to go. So let me see if I can ask you any other questions about horror. What's the last horror movie that you've watched here? Like like recently, the last, whether it's old, new, whatever, the last horror movie you watched. William Defoe played Count Orlok and whatever his name is not for. Yeah, I think that's true. I don't think I've seen that remake, but I remember hearing about it. I know there's a few Nosferatu movies out there. There's the one from the 70s that, what was his name? Kind of a hard actor to work with. Kloskinski, didn't he do one? I think he did. Kloskinski, but the one from the 20s is the one that'll always stand out to me. But the last horror movie I watched, of course, was the for Omen 2, Damien Omen 2 for my series. So um, yeah, like I said, I'll be watching the final conflict here shortly. So, but yeah, other than that, I'm staying inside because I live in the Midwest and I'm snowed in. Probably about, I think we got 10 or 11 inches of snow in the last 24 hours, so that's awesome. Omen 2. Yeah, Omen 2 is pretty good. Not as good as the first one. Oh, Wisconsin. Yeah, same. I'm not going to say where in Wisconsin because I don't want stalkers, but yeah, I'm in Wisconsin as well. So needless to say, we're getting plenty of snow here, but no, I liked Omen too. I'd definitely be interested in watching it again. Um, I don't think it's as good as the original, of course, but the original's a classic, so I was never expecting it to be. But I still had a good time with it. I really liked the young kid that played Damien in that movie, in the second movie. So that was the thing that stood out to me about it. So yeah, I'm definitely interested. I know the series supposedly for most people get worse as it goes on. Although I do remember seeing the remake when it came out at the theater. I actually went on a date and saw it in 2006 before I was married or anything. Um, and I think I remember thinking it was okay. That's okay. Yeah, I have so many horror movies that I have to watch yet. The only reason I remembered the last one is because it's the series that I'm in the middle of, and I have the third one sitting right here on my desk, ready to throw in the old Blu-ray player. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. But yeah, I'm gonna watch that tonight and get that review up in a couple of days here. So I'm trying to do a new review every 5 days since there's 5 movies for the franchise. So get us through the month of January here. But well, I think I'm probably going to wrap this up in another minute here. But I'm glad you jumped on Mellow Mute, and I'm glad that I wasn't sitting here talking to myself for all 20 minutes of this live stream. I did have a couple other people earlier, but I think they probably gave up on me because I had to exit out and then get back on with audio that worked. And now I know that it works. But yeah, yeah, been there. I'm sure a lot of people have been there, so it's all good. So I look forward to doing my next one. But I enjoyed this one too, as awkward as it was. So hey, what the hell? But yeah, I think with that being said, I hope you have a good night. And yeah, I have a second channel too, just like a regular. It's called Brian's 2 Cents. Basically, I do sports. I do. like cultural things. I do movies that aren't horror, TV shows that aren't horror related, things like that. So it's hard to keep up with one channel, let alone two. I've got very few videos on that channel, but I wish you a good night, Mellow Mutant. Stay out of well, don't stay out of the snow, but don't get stuck in the snow. YouTube sucks. Yeah, it definitely can. That's for sure. But I'm gonna call this for the night here, and thanks again for joining me. Yep, you have a good night as well. Stay warm. It's going to get cold on top of all this snow. But I thank you all that did check in with me. And for those that are watching this live video after the fact, thanks for sticking with me. But like I said, go ahead and still comment down below on those two Q&A questions I asked on horror. And be sure to subscribe, of course, as always. With that being said, as always, stay scared. Bye.